Hello, hello. Good evening. I have no idea if this is working yet or not. So say hello in the chat if you are in. It's the first official live stream for the channel. Yeah, I guess today we're going to take a look at just some of my work from the... Awesome. Okay, good. We're in. Black Razor Films. Hello. First ever comment in the chat. Yeah, no, this is a little surreal for me, but I thought it would be a nice opportunity to kind of like make this a bit more interactive process, because I don't know, I feel like you often just send these tutorials off into the void, and it's lovely getting the comments on the videos, and obviously people in the Discord channel who are nice and active. It's nice to kind of get input from there as well, but yeah, thought we'd try something a little bit different. Yeah, I guess rather than hanging around, let's start off over into Photoshop. So this is the map that I've been given to start off with. So we're looking at a 8,000 kilometer or so wide continent here. I think my idea here, so the person who's made this commission would like, if possible, to keep the rivers that are currently there. Obviously, there's only a small amount of topography kind of shown on this map. So, you know, I think we've got kind of like a fair bit of license to kind of change this up a little bit. And yeah, I guess, especially around the coastlines, I think I'd like to kind of smooth these coastlines out a little bit. But we'll follow the kind of like the broad strokes of the mountain ranges. And rivers, they are the bane of my life with Gaia. Honestly, people want to see rivers in the exact right places. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. I have given the guy who's commissioned this a heads up that I will try my best to have them vaguely where he has them, but he may need to make some small changes to get this working. Okay, so the way we kind of like start off with this, I've got the kind of the map here as a bit of an overlay, just to give this as a more of a guide than anything. Hello. Is this you? Is this you, Jeff? Or because this is perfect. I mean, this is like a fully interactive commission. Then that would be perfect. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, then let's work on this together. I was wondering whether or not to kind of like yeah yeah. I was wondering whether or not to kind of like reach out to you, like, hey, do you want to come along to the stream? But I'm like, is this more pressure or? Okay, cool. Well, in that case, let's start off with. I'm just going to turn the opacity down on this map to have as a guide, and then so my kind of like the way that I have been kind of starting my maps nowadays is following a tutorial from someone else who I will actually be able to share in the future in an upcoming video. But I essentially really struggle to I find it too intimidating to just completely hand draw an outline in a coastline. So what I like to do is start off with literally just a black void. And then we use the smudge tool to then start pulling this kind of black void around to kind of create the general shape. So I'm going to use the Cloud 2 brush. And I'm going to turn on shape dynamics just to kind of help create some variation. This process, by the way, is all on my my blog as well, and I will be kind of following up with a video, kind of a bit more edited and, you know, cleaner, easier to follow. So for people who want to do this as a tutorial, you can do. But the idea here is literally we're just going to kind of pull this in and get the kind of main shape. It does even, I've got quite a powerful system, but because we're going for like an 8K, I'm putting this base map as like an 8K map. The final render will aim for 16K. But even with my computer, it sort of lags behind a little bit. Let's just kind of follow the main shape and consonant of this. Pull this in. Here as well. Just create, this is just creating a, like I say, like a rough coastline for now. And we're going to add in more detail with some kind of terrain brushes. So is this an established world for you then? Or is this something that you're just starting out fresh and you've got some changes that you're happy making? Let's get this little bay area in there as well. Okay. So, but is this like an established, like, well, is like a game that you've been playing in? I have to say, actually, so I have never played like Warhammer. I'm a little bit too scared to go down that rabbit hole because I know what I'm like as a person. But is this kind of like, yeah, it's something that you've had for a while, and or you just like starting out? Oh, I hate that Belgian guy. I absolutely could. Actually, if I go quickly over to Gaia, I mean, this is, I'm not sure we can call this historical, because if you can, well, we have like an alternative kind of like Greece and Turkey and North Africa. Here was a recent commission that I did. This started off as like quite almost like a cartoony drawing, and then I kind of followed using the same approach that I'm going to use today, kind of with the mountain brushes and things like that. Kind of place like the mountain ranges and change the coastline slightly. So, but yeah, I mean, as long as it's a map, yeah, absolutely, I can work on it. Aha, okay, yeah. I mean, it's really it is really difficult to. Aha, we've got someone from Turkey. Yeah, cool. I've never been to Turkey. I've only seen it across the sea. But yeah, no. So I had a chat with an author that I posted today, actually, talking about maps and the real importance of maps, kind of for helping you, I guess, ground your story, right? Like having that map and make sure. And again, I know Warhammer's probably quite a bit more tactical. I always think from like a D&D point of view, but yeah, having that kind of grounding is a map is helpful for that. Okay, right. So I guess we've created this sort of general landmass that's sort of kind of following. Well, I guess we. Well, I kind of like this, actually, kind of poking out here. It adds a bit more interest, but we can see. I guess we have the person who has asked for the commission in the chat. What do we think about this kind of like little peninsula, or would you rather have an island here? I guess we need to add, let me just add something for up here as well. And I'm just going to use that same smudge tool to then push things around a little bit, but we'll chop this up. Okay, yeah, I tell you what, let me make this an island. I think we can come back to yeah, and then these extra details we'll be able to add soon. So the next thing is oh, look at me having to look at my own tutorial just to remember all of the steps. We're going to want to refine this coastline with a threshold layer. So I'm just going to call this landmass, and then I'm going to add a threshold adjustment layer. There we go. And you can see that kind of like, we can kind of play slightly with like this real sort of jagged edge here, kind of bring it in, turn that kind of like blurry edge to a bit more like refined look. So yeah, maybe something like this. Again, I'll come back and break those up later. This does kind of create some sort of pixelation, this threshold effect. So we're going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing Control Alt Shift E. Oh, I don't want to do that with that guide in place. Control Alt Shift E. To kind of get that a bit more refined. And then we're going to filter gallery. Filter. Why am I not seeing? Oh. Why is my filter gallery grayed out? I'm unfortunately not a Photoshop expert. So this is confusing me. By the way, as well, if anyone has any kind of like specific Gaia things that they want to ask, I'm happy to kind of like jump over to there. I promise the commission will get done at some point. But if there's any kind of like specific Gaia questions that we have, then I'm happy to answer them while I'm here. I think that's kind of like the main thing that I wanted to have from this stream was like, you know, we can hang out, chat a little bit while I kind of just get on with some work. But at the same time, if we have any kind of like specific questions, or even if you're like in the Discord, you can even share like a project file if there's something that you're kind of like stuck on and need help with. But yeah, just give a shout in the chat and we can kind of help. Or I can help. Okay, so we now need to kind of get rid of the white ocean that's around this landmass. So we're going to do this by selecting a color range. So let me just go select color range, and then we want to actually use the eyedropper to select select the kind of white ocean area. Let's take this fuzziness all the way up. And then it's just going to be backspace to delete that white area. And now we've got that kind of like transparent background. Hello. Sorry, I'm trying to like read the chat. I need to try and make the make it bigger. Let's see what that. Rawliers, hey. Just discovered your channel a few days ago. Oh, good. Well, welcome. Yeah, I'm glad that there's kind of more people. Oh, is my camera dead? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the heads up. Let me just fix that 1 second. Okay, yeah, there was always going to be issues on the first stream, wasn't there? My my camera is out of battery because I forgot to plug it in. So if you give me give me 1 moment, I will run up, grab my charger, and then we'll be able to continue. Give me 1 second. Okay. How are we doing? Am I back? I'm back. Oh, yes. Okay. Currently trying to follow your guide for Photoshop, but I'm using Krita since it's free. Yeah, this is always one of the things I really try and do everything I can to make it possible to follow things with the open source equivalents. In my written blog, I have put the kind of alternatives for GIMP. Yeah, but yeah, no, okay, yeah, good. Thanks for dropping by. And if you're not in the Discord already, do join the Discord, because that way, if you need any support, I can kind of like help you offline as well. Cool. Right. Okay, so we have deleted. So actually, while I'm at it, I am going to save this. Because we don't want to lose progress. So now we are going to start adding kind of like some more like fine detail. And we're going to use the pencil tool to do this. So the main benefit of using the pencil tool here is so that the brush can have kind of like some anti-aliasing on the edge, whereas we want a hard edge. So we want it to go from kind of like pure black to pure white without that kind of like blur at the edges. So essentially what we're going to do here is just update this kind of vague shape that we've created, but using some terrain brushes, which I have created a guide for how you can create your own ones. If you're like me and would rather spend maybe like £5 or $5 or so just buying a pre-existing pack, then Josh Goff has them available on his Patreon. That's the set that I use. They're just really good, and it's really time consuming to kind of try and create your own. So, but I will leave it up to everyone to see what's kind of right for their sort of personal circumstances. So yeah, the next part is to really, we want to get this scale just right. So this is kind of like an 8 kilometer kind of continent. So really what we're doing here, just making sure I've got the actual pure black selected. Yeah. I'm just going to kind of like remove the selection, Control D. And this will start to add kind of like little islands. Oh, and we definitely want the shape dynamics on as well. Yeah, there we go. So this is just going to be a case of resizing, especially picking out kind of like parts that seem to match the sort of existing shape of the coast. Yeah, these brushes are all quite large, but you don't really want to go too small, because then you'll sort of create overly rough coastlines. So this is just a case of working our way around. Just creating a little bit of variation. I kind of like that. Yeah, that looks quite cool there. Just changing up the brushes, just making sure we don't have good question. So yeah, this absolutely is just a hobby. I I actually work as a scientist. So I am not an artistic person naturally. Hopefully, it's not too apparent. But yeah, so I work in AI drug discovery. But I yeah, just I think I just sort of fell in love with this process. I think, like I say, I'm not a naturally artistic person, but then when I found out that I can actually create quite pretty looking renders, um, then yeah, it just sort of became more and more interesting me to kind of uh, yeah, work on this. And I think I don't think anyone really had, or I don't think many people at least had kind of thought of using Gaia um, for the sort of the fantasy map kind of community. And so as a result, it was kind of like I was sort of marrying two worlds, I guess. And once I started kind of posting the results online, I sort of ended up getting more and more people saying, "How did you do this?" And that's sort of how the channel was born. Um, aha, right. Oh, yeah, that's right. We want to make it a little taller by expanding the bottom down. Yeah, we absolutely can. So yeah, I guess kind of like at this lowest point, kind of making it like, yeah, we can really, I mean, we could add something like this, really, like add quite a bit of coastline just from this. Is this the sort of thing that you had in mind? And hit click and then hit undo. How does this look? I it's oh, if we stretched it top to bottom, okay, I see. So like the whole thing we kind of want um to make it just overall taller. I see. Flatter at the longest point. Okay. Yeah, I tell you what, maybe what I'll do, let's let's uh yeah, we can move this upwards. Uh yeah, actually, yeah, go on, do that. That would be good. Do you want to do it on are you on the Discord channel? Um but yeah, in terms of like creativity, I think that's you're exactly right. I think whether you're like a scientist or writing code or yeah, working in AI, you there is like a lot of opportunity to be creative. Actually, you need teams of people with different skill set. That's what I found. I've definitely found that I need you know, people who are really good at just like following like the process and things like that, and they can spend ages looking through code and sort of diving in on the detail. Whereas I am definitely much more of like a big picture kind of person. Um, yeah, if you made the left half further down too. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's. I think. Okay, let's do that because this is the thing. We're um, just working. You know, it's just a guide here. So let's kind of like extend this down here. but then go something like this as well. Let's get rid of that. I by the way, I wouldn't be too surprised by if I just kind of like change this up a little bit off stream, because I don't want you kind of, I want to make sure you have a map that you're 100% happy with, and my inability to properly multitask shouldn't be to the detriment of your map. Bring that in there. Shape dynamics means I obviously, it gives me a nice random rotation, but sometimes it's just easier to kind of keep clicking around. Okay, let's have a look at the Discord. Aha, yeah, I see. Gotcha. Let me bring that in, actually. Oh, I'm glad that it's helpful. I think this is it, right? Like sometimes I'm in a similar, this is going to sound weird, seeing as like I'm obviously someone who now like makes tutorials, but you know, it's very much like a shoulders of giants situation here. Like I'm very much kind of, everything that I know is just based on an amalgamation of other tutorials that I've seen in the past. And yeah, honestly, I think sometimes you want an expert explaining something to you, and sometimes you want someone who has just had to struggle themselves because they know all of the pitfalls and things like that. All right, so shall I? Yeah, okay. Let me trim back slightly then, because I feel like I've gone quite a bit beyond these like red guides. Yeah. Let me trim back these. Make sure I'm on the right layer as well. Just switch to white. Switch the brush up slightly. Wondering actually, maybe I can use this as an opportunity to get this island involved. Cool. Okay, need to. There's a bit too much going on with that. Oh God, wrong color. Shrink this down a little bit. Okay. Absolutely. One of my good friends and housemates when I was at university is German, and he learned English kind of like later on in life, and it was just the number of times that we had like hilarious discussions about like he would say to me, Chris, why do you say this is edible and not eatable? Eatable makes more sense. And I'd never be able to answer his questions. He'd always have like questions like, why is it like this and not like this? And it would actually be, I don't know, someone else who's who's not a native English speaker who would be able to give the answer that he that he wanted, and I absolutely just couldn't. Um, oh my goodness, I'm going to keep doing that, aren't I? Okay, and now let's switch out colors again, and let's just take some of this back. Nice. Let's go back to black. Ah, Renzi. How you doing, man? We're currently watching me struggle with Photoshop. Yeah. Do you know, I feel like I learned more about English from studying Latin than I did from English. A lot of things, yeah, a lot of things just didn't quite make sense. It's like, it's just because that's just how we do it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and we definitely need to break up these islands slightly as well. Let's go. Chop these up a bit. In fact, these are now actually complete. I'm just going to get rid of these and start again. No, Renzi, we had a last minute. Well, not last minute. I was given multiple days notice, but luckily, the person who commissioned me is actually in the stream and reminded me that that we actually want kind of more, more landmass. But yeah, no, it's a good point. We definitely would want to have like the sort of the flooded shelf to be like as part of this as well. Right. Let me just. More. Yeah, exactly. Like the thing for me in English actually, it was the someone pointed out that when you order adjectives from the like least certain to the most certain, so or like the least subjective to the most subjective. The right way around? No. Like for example, you would say like the fancy red car. Now it's definitely red, but fancy is subjective. So you start with fancy and then you talk about it being, you call it red. Until someone explicitly pointed that out to me, I have no idea. Okay, actually, I'm now. Yeah, you guys. So my problem here is I like to watch. I don't know if anyone else has seen Avant Novis's streams. Or the guy he's in our in the kind of in my like Discord server as well. He does such a good job of kind of doing his art whilst kind of like discussing with chat and having everybody engaged. And he made it look quite easy, and I'm realizing it's quite hard to like multitask. I feel like I've followed these guidelines a bit too precisely, and now I'm not sure exactly how I feel about the shape. I definitely feel like the coastlines are too rough. But hey, art's a process. Let's try and just... I think what I want to do is smooth this coastline out, definitely. I think the problem is I've just been going too small on brush size. Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I tell you what, let's have a think. Let's pull. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the overlay back on, and then I'm gonna switch to just a soft round brush. Make it quite a bit smaller, and then let's just. I'm just gonna. Oh, I know. Well, believe me, like it's a treat for me as well, because every question I've had to ask you so far, I've had to kind of like guess in my previous commissions, like, is this what they want? I don't know. Right, I'm gonna switch to the brush tool. I'm gonna go for quite like a low flow, and I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. Because we've clearly got this like actually let's get the flow even lower, and I want soft. There we go. So we've got this like kind of nice like mountain range kind of running through, right? Just gonna kind of like follow this down. So this, we think from like the tectonics perspective, kind of looks like we've got, I guess, yeah, we've sort of got this like a plate down here and a plate up here kind of colliding together. And this is so for context for everyone, this is like an 8,000 kilometer wide continent. So this is a big yeah, this is a big old coastline, a big old like pair of continents kind of coming together. So this is like, I guess for reference, this is like twice the width of the USA. So it's quite a major, like I'm sort of tempted to think about, because if I remember rightly, this is like the entirety of the landmass of the planet. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've got 3 names for you: Black Razor Films or Emperor in Discord. But yeah, the kind of 3. If I remember correctly, this is like the one landmass. So like in a way, if we think about the kind of like tectonic, like they're Wilson cycles, aren't they? Like how the plates break apart, move around, and eventually they come back together again. So there's going to be a lot going on here. So I'm kind of tempted. I mean, we've got like this island chain here. Yeah, I'm sort of thinking. We have like another mountain range here. Yeah, single comp, low popular. Gotcha. Yeah, actually, that's going to really come. Yeah, so we will not be getting to this tonight, unfortunately. I'm afraid I'm making extremely slow progress on the Photoshop side. I think next time what I'll do is I'll probably to kind of finish up this like the Photoshop stage so that we can get into the Gaia section, which I can just do a bit more like naturally. But the thing that's quite interesting about this commission is going to be the first time that I actually perhaps include cities as well. The way I'm going to include cities, because normally I only deal with the sort of natural aspects of the landscape, is to actually just do it as a texture. Like when you look at like satellite images, like if we look at the UK and you look at London, there's not like a real, at this kind of scale, you just see like a gray yeah, good question. So the red is like this. I'm just using this as like a visual guide. So yeah, later on, what I will do is create. Actually, I tell you what. Let me go to. Just because like I don't think that we're going to be getting there today. I'll just kind of like plug the blog for now. So this is essentially the process that I'm following, and I have got as far as part 4 so far, where I'm kind of like stamping the kind of using those like terrain brushes to kind of stamp the coastlines. But this is kind of like the stage that you do next, where you kind of like plan where your mountains are going to be. But we do actually use this red layer later on to actually raise the surrounding ground for like the mountains as well. So it's not literally just kind of like completely flat and then mountain brush. We do actually kind of like raise the height map later on. And yeah, the bringing up the city lights, one of my favorite tutorials that I did that nobody seems to watch, which I'm really sad about, is a tutorial around actually using Gaia to predict population density. So the idea behind the approach is essentially we know the sorts of things that human civilization, at least, kind of needs for like a good habitable land. So we know that like it can't be the slope can't be too steep. Usually we want to be close proximity to rivers and the sea, and then especially where the river meets the sea as well. Because of obviously fish being a great source of protein and things like that. And then even using the trees node in Gaia to kind of, I guess, kind of like predict maybe like the most fertile land. I like the point is I pulled everything together. I took the height map for the island of Kos, like a Greek island, pulled like this workflow together, and actually managed to predict pretty accurately where all the main towns of this island are, based on the terrain. And so from that, it kind of going into Blender, then kind of like creating like procedural city lights that actually respect the terrain. I was really proud of that because I did not see anyone else able to do that kind of thing other than like full planet simulation or like full planet procedural lights and things like that. But yeah, that video didn't perform well. So maybe give that one a watch if you're interested in the kind of the lights. Yeah, I think that's it. Like I think it was one of those things where it's like it definitely feels like it should be able to help quite a lot of people, because anyone interested in adding in kind of these sort of city lights you think would be kind of like fairly common, but yeah. Yeah, I think this is it. Like the thing that I found quite useful was combining they were essentially like population density maps. So it was just like another output image where the brightest white areas were kind of meant to be like the most densely populated. And it was, things that you would expect, kind of like where rivers meet the coast and stuff like that. And then, not climbing up the sides of mountains and what have you. But you can actually get kind of Photoshop brushes that are based on city lights from real cities. And then yeah, kind of create a kind of like, I don't know, a night lights map, which you can then import into Blender. And if you follow the Blender Guru like Earth tutorial, it's a really good process for like having it so that the side of your planet that's not facing the Earth, the lights kind of light up and things like that. Can you choose timeline and starting point? Do you mean kind of like developing over time, like where so is this kind of like you want a thank you, Renzi. That's a very good point. This is where I give myself away as not actually a geologist. Just make things that look pretty. Yeah, so Crawley is like when you say like timeline and starting point, do you mean like you want to see the population grow? Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess so. In terms of, so you wouldn't be able to do it with the kind of like the Photoshop brushes that were very much like, you're sort of stamping, sort of stamping like here's a city, But I also kind of discussed like a fully procedural method, which has essentially quite a lot of, well, it has like a threshold slider where it's sort of saying anywhere on the population density map with a value greater than whatever, place some lights. And so you could absolutely simulate cities growing by being really strict. You know, only the best places are going to be where we grow first, and then animate it so that over time you kind of reduce that threshold with some keyframes, and then kind of see like more lights appearing as the sort of cities expand. That'd be a really cool project, actually. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's, as per Renzi's suggestion, let's clear away some of this. Sorry, guys. This has been obviously a little chaotic with camera dying and me not really being able to multitask so well. Well, what I would say is think of it more like it's less about like what we're essentially doing in that project is, and I can share the, if you like reach out to me on Discord, I'll just share the Blender file with you. And well, do you know what? Yeah, what I would say is Black Razor Films and slash Jeff, you're going to have a better result if I don't try and do this on stream. I'm now realizing, because I'm not very good at multitasking. But you've definitely helped me kind of like make the changes that we wanted to see. But I will kind of iterate on this, and then once we're on the Gaia stage, I'll probably stream again, because I think this Photoshop stage is like new to me, and that's why I'm like struggling a little bit to multitask. But yeah, like the way that this procedural method is working is it's essentially taking noise and only showing the noise in places where like the population density map has gone above a certain value, or like we multiply the noise by that density map. So sometimes it's like, you know, it's not going to be kind of uniformly growing out. Maybe kind of like the noise slightly sort of further out from like, say, the city center has a particularly bright value, so then that one kind of appears first, and then the rest kind of fade in. But it's yeah, well, I will find what we're looking for. Let me go to my channel, and then I will show you. Here's the one. So yeah, this is definitely the one to look at. I'm gonna let's mute this. I just want to. So this is the kind of like the effect where if you're using the city like brush lights, I guess, like the Photoshop brush, and then that's just kind of like demonstrating. But this is the more like procedural one. Yeah, this is kind of like what the procedural version looks like, and you can kind of see like, I mean, obviously it's a bit dark, but in this world, like here's like the coastline. You can sort of see here, and where this major river meets the coastline, we've got kind of like quite a lot of density there. And just trying to see if I've got like some footage of lights being kind of like, yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I will make it. I'll make it rewatchable. Yeah, don't worry about that. And like I say, just if you're in the Discord channel, you can just kind of like reach out to me. But yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of like see what I'm alluding to here. There's just like essentially like a greater than thing that's gonna determine how many lights you see. And yeah, this, if you know anything about COS, basically most of the people live up here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, do you know what? I'm kind of tempted to say we will keep it to just an hour today for the stream. I just kind of wanted to like test the waters slightly, and see see how. Oh gosh, has my camera gone again? Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Okay, well, it's not been without its issues today, has it? Hopefully that was interesting, and yeah, I will. Jeff, I will keep you updated on how your actual commission progresses, and yeah, let me know if this was a good thing to try, and yeah, next time I'll make sure it's a Gaia step because I can do Gaia with my eyes shut. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and